What's up, y'all? Today we're going to show you how to deep clean a GE Superthrust air conditioner. This is my 1977 GE Superthrust, which is absolutely caked with dust on the evaporator coil. We did do the first deep clean of the coil. You can see it does look quite a bit better, but we're not done yet. Nope, we're not done yet. So we're going to set you guys up over here so you can see how to do this. Let me know if you guys see that okay in the comments down below. So what we got here is we got my handy dandy spray bottle, and this allows me to spray coil cleaner into the coil. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to do both sides of it to ensure we fully get it cleaned. And once we fully get it cleaned, we're going to switch over to my power rinse tool right there. And this is my power rinse tool. So we're using this to rinse the evaporator after we get the cleaner in there. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and put this thing on to on. And all I'm doing is I'm just spraying it into the evaporator, and this is going to allow it to get a full deep clean. And you don't want to do it too much. You don't want to run out of spray. And what I have is water mixed in with the coil cleaner. So you kind of want to dilute it for older appliances. So now we're going to come over here. We're going to spray out the inside of the coil. Look at that foaming action going on. Look at that. That's all just from the inside of the evaporator. Look at that. That was absolutely caked with dust, and now it's starting to clean out. So we probably are going to have to do this a couple more times. I'm going to try to set you guys up over here, hopefully, without getting the camera wet, and you'll actually get to see it firsthand on the actual side of the coil. There we go. So hopefully you guys should be able to see that okay. So we're going to do the exact same thing again. Like I said, we got my coil cleaner diluted with water. So that's what we're going to be using. And we're just going to spray both sides of the coil. Surprisingly, this one's not a double row evaporator like I thought it was. It's a 10,500 BTU. One would think it'd have a double evaporator. So what we're going to do, we're going to put the plug right over here. We're going to allow it to hang like that, so you don't get it any wet. And we're going to go ahead and clean out the coils. The condenser has already been cleaned, so it performs much better. Evaporator coil never had a filter, so even if we just have to use like a regular window unit filter, you know, we'll figure out what works. So now I'm going to go ahead and spray it again. guys can see all the foam dripping out as we clean the coil. Now what you want to do, you want to allow it to set for like 3 to 5 minutes. So that's what we are going to be doing here. You can see it's doing a very nice job getting this coil cleaned up. This does an excellent job when it comes to cleaning coils. Guys, look at all that foaming action going on. This is how we did the condenser as well. And the nice thing about using this type of coil cleaner on older appliances, though, at least with this older stuff, you can dilute it, you know, but you'll still get a nice deep clean. So we're going to show you guys the evaporator coil now. Just did a few rounds of deep cleaning on it, and we're going to allow it to set for like 3 to 5 minutes before we rinse it. Make sure we get all that gunk out of it. This coil used to be caked with gunk, and now it's starting to look more like that of what it should be, nice and clean. Let's see here, this is my spray bottle right there, which allows me to, you know, put the chemical in that I need to use, and I can dilute it with water, and works super well. And the fact that using coil cleaner, you know, diluted coil cleaner for these older units. Now, if it's like really bad, because with the GE Superthrust, I actually did spray the inside of the condenser after I got everything taken apart. I did spray the inside of the condenser to ensure a proper cleaning. But now here's a look at all the electrical here for those of you that have never seen the inside of a GE Superthrust before. This is the electrical right here. So we have our dual run capacitor, and this one's just like that you'd find on a central unit. You got Herm, common, and fan. So see that? I don't know if you can see it or not, but we got Herm, compressor, fan. So yeah, there's fan, common, Herm, or fan, compressor, Herm. Just like the central units. So that's how we know this is a 70s unit. Now, if this was a 60s unit and you've seen the inside of those, there would probably be another capacitor on top of the blower duct here. Now, the cool thing about this one, this is made of sheet metal. So that's the really cool thing about the way they built these. It's mostly plastic, so they are a lot lighter than the metal units. But yeah, and these things are less likely to rot. As you can see here, we do have a nice metal condensate drain pan. So yeah, this one's overall in pretty good condition. So here we have cleaned it up real nice, and it does work a lot better than it ever has. And it cooled so well to the point that the suction line was freezing up when it was going back because the evaporator coil wasn't properly cleaned. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go shut our valve off so we can drain that out. And we're going to switch over to this tool here, which is the power rinse tool. And we're going to give the evaporator a full rinse, and we're going to see how it comes out afterward. So let's go ahead and shut our valve off here. I'm going to try to set you guys up somewhere. There we go. So all we did, we went ahead and turned the valve off so we can go ahead and drain this out. We're going to go ahead and do that like so. Now we're going to go ahead and disassemble this. Oh, look at that. Yes, we did. I'm going to go ahead and set that right there. I'm going to go ahead and install this power rinse attachment here. I don't know what that was. Sounds like something just fell in the neighbor's pool. And it looks like we are having a little bit of a freak show going on. There we go. Now we got it. So now we got this installed. We're gonna go ahead and turn our valve back on. We're gonna fully rinse the coil. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it did come right on. So we're gonna put you guys back over here. That way you guys hopefully don't get the camera wet while we're doing this. I'm gonna show you how to do a full rinse and deep clean. So we're gonna start off by rinsing the evaporator coil from the outside. And what this is gonna allow us to do is it's gonna allow us to get all the cleaner out. And hopefully you should be able to see through the coil when we do the flashlight test. And now, as I'm watching, as I'm rinsing out the coil, I've noticed that there's water actually going through it, which means that the evaporator coil is cleaning up just the way it should. So I don't think we'll have to do another deep clean today on the GE Superthrust, because the coil actually cleaned out pretty well. We're also going to get from the inside as well, so I'll show you guys that too. Hopefully be able to get that without getting you guys all, or myself all wet for that matter. want to make sure we don't get our plug all wet. And now what we're doing here is we're making sure we get the whole thing cleaned out. Making sure we flush all the coil cleaner out and any debris that might have gotten stuck, you know, during the cleaning process. Now, like I said, what we're trying to do, we're trying to make sure we get everything out. That way there's no coil cleaner left in there. And also that there's no debris left over. You know, just making sure that we do this right. And yes, I do got the weather wheel running because we are going to have to dry the GE out. Now, unfortunately, there is a little bit starting to get inside. Do not like the way that, I don't like the way that the area itself was set up. That is a big fault. Also going to give the drain pan a quick cleaning as well. Make sure we get that all nice and clean. Now, unfortunately, the previous owners of this, they did not take the drain cover out before they installed it, and that led to the appliance filling up with condensate. So I went and took the drain plug out, so now it can actually drain properly. They're not like modern units at all, where you have to drill drain holes. But I mean, we are probably going to drill a drain hole on this thing, just because, you know, make sure it can fully properly drain. But you want to be careful not to drill through the condenser, because drilling through the condenser will probably get you in a muddle trying to find somebody to put a replacement coil on, you know, recharge it. We don't want to do that, so we just want to be super careful when we're doing this. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and turn this thing to its left a little bit. Allow all that muck to drain out. So you guys can see there's little to no water left in the pan. So this thing has been properly cleaned for the first time ever in almost 50 years. That's how long it's been since this thing had a proper cleaning or servicing. And now it should perform really, really well. So what we're gonna have to do now, we're gonna have to let it drip, we have to flush it out one more time just to ensure everything is properly cleaned. And then at the end of the video, you'll see us take it back inside and put it back on the bench. And the Fedder's weather wheel will dry it out. Phew! So now, no, we're not going to try to put this thing on its back because you don't want to ruin the spine fin coils. But we are gonna give it a quick rinse, just on the evaporator one more time. Actually, not evaporator, the drain pan. Drain pan's still got some mud in it. So we are gonna have to try to have it on a nice little stream here, so hopefully we don't get the fan motor wet. But like I said, it's gonna get plenty of time to dry out because we're gonna be gone. So I'm gonna be gone all afternoon because we're going fishing today. The way this weather is, it causes all the sinuses to act up. Not only have I been having that, but a lot of people have been having it too. Their sinuses going off because of this humidity. You guys can see we're trying to be very, very careful here so that we don't accidentally cause it to fall or break the stool, or even worse, you know, end up having an accident. So we don't want that. That's why we're being very, very careful. We don't want to cause any damage to the appliance. We don't want to cause any damage to anything else. So before we go, I'm going to show you the guts of this thing. These things are very, very cool. Look at that. There's the fan motor right there. That is a GE motor. Now the fan itself, people are probably going to tell you, oh, it's a metal fan, but it's actually a plastic blade. And the motor has been oiled, so this thing should last quite a long time now. The fact that it's had a proper clean and service. You know, it's been thoroughly cleaned out, so it does run. It's going to run so much better now. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to get the video. We're taking this thing back in, but that is how you deep clean a Geneeal Electric Superthrust air conditioner.